Hello and welcome to Bottoms Down, Chair Yoga for Everyone. It's our mission to make chair yoga fun and easy for everybody to participate in. My name is Carol and I'll be your fitness guide today. So these are really extraordinary times, aren't they? But we can do our part and keep our bodies moving. So I'll be live streaming chair yoga classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Afterwards, the classes will be available on YouTube and on Facebook as the videos, so you can take a look at those at your own convenience if this isn't a good time for you. So a little bit about the classes. So on Mondays, we're going to stay seated in our chair the entire time. Class will probably last about 15 or 20 minutes. And then on Wednesdays, we're going to build on what we did Monday. We'll be standing and doing some standing poses as well as seated poses. Class will probably last more like 25 to 30 minutes. And then on Friday, we're going to build on what we did Monday and Wednesday. And class is probably going to last more like 30-35 minutes. And we'll also be doing even more standing poses. So about the chair. Make sure that you have a chair without wheels, preferably without arms. And then about shoes, it's totally up to you. If you want to have your shoes on, keep them on, it's fine. I'm going to be demonstrating it without my shoes because I think you can see my feet a little bit better, but it's totally up to you. And finally, let's just have some fun, right? So let's just sit back and get our groove on and let's get started with some chair yoga. So we're going to start up really nice and tall. I want you to think about lengthening that spine. Think about lifting your crown of your head towards the ceiling. We're going to pull our belly button towards our spine. So we want to keep that core engaged the entire time. Okay, so belly button to spine. Lift up nice and tall. Lower those shoulders down out of the ears. We're going to place our hands lightly on our thighs. So palms up if that works for you. You can even do the little thumb to middle finger mudra if you like that. You don't have to, it's just a choice. And so we're going to close our eyes just for a few moments and focus in on our heart center. Trying to let go of everything that's outside of this room. Focusing in on just what's happening in your chair at this moment. Now let's begin to think about our breath. So just feel that natural inhalation and exhalation. The rhythm of your natural breath. Let's begin to elongate that breath. So think about inhaling a little more deeply and exhaling a little more completely. We're going to move into what we call a diaphragmatic breath. We want to engage our diaphragm. So basically we want to fill the lungs from the bottom up. Your belly will extend as you inhale. It's also called a belly breath. So as you inhale, extend that belly, fill those lungs up from the bottom up. And as you exhale, actively pull your belly button towards your spine and push the air up and out of the lungs. Go ahead and do that a few times at your own pace. And breathe normally. We're going to continue with that diaphragmatic breath, but we're going to add a little bit of rhythm to it. So we're going to inhale to 4 counts, and we're going to exhale to 5 counts. Something like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe normally. We're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to inhale to 4 counts. And then I want you to exhale to just as many counts as you possibly can before you inhale again. Go ahead at your own pace. And breathe normally. Bring your hands to your heart and set your intention for today's practice. Focus in on what you want to accomplish. One more breath. Bring your hands back down to your thighs and open your eyes. Right, just a nice deep breath. So remembering, as we're doing our yoga, the yoga breath that we did, that diaphragmatic breath, if you want to incorporate that into the poses, I will guide us to do that. But if at any time it feels a little dizzy or that just doesn't feel good to you, just breathe normally. It's okay. But don't hold your breath. All right. So let's drop that right ear down towards our right shoulder. One more thing I want to just mention, I'm going to be mirroring you. So as I'm saying right ear to right shoulder, I'm actually going to be doing left. So don't let that get you confused. Feeling that stretch in the neck. Let's go ahead and drop our chin towards our chest. So feeling the stretch into the back of the neck. Let's do the other side. So we're just beginning to warm up. So be gentle, right? So we don't want to take any very harsh movements, just being gentle. Go ahead and drop that chin back down towards the chest and breathe. All right, let's go ahead and look up towards me. Now we're going to look out over that right shoulder, okay? So just looking over the right shoulder, feeling the stretch in the neck, breathing. Go ahead and look center, and let's go to the other side. All right, look center, and we'll roll our shoulders. Just an up, back, and down. So it's kind of an exaggerated shoulder roll, if you will. So we're just trying to relax and lessen some of the tension, and let's reverse those circles. So as we're stretching into that neck a little bit, these just really feel good. All right, we're going to move into it's called a cat and cow pose. So we're going to be warming up the spine a little bit. I'm going to place my hands lightly on my thighs. I'm going to pull my belly button to my spine. Remember, we talked about that at the beginning. Pull that belly button in, round your shoulders, tuck your chin. Now, you won't be looking at the video right now. That's okay. Look down at your lap. Feel the stretch in the shoulders and in the neck and the upper back. All right, now we're going to lift our heart up, and I want you to grab the back of your chair and lift. All right, so we're really stretching. You should feel a nice stretch all the way through the shoulders, across the chest, and this is a seated cow pose. There's a few different ways that, and I'll show you later in other classes that we'll be doing different ways of cow, but this is what we're doing today. All right, let's do cat again. Place your hands down on your thighs, pull your belly button in, round your shoulders, tuck your chin. Let that head fall. We tend to want to hold the head up. I want you to really think about tucking that chin, letting that head fall, rounding the shoulders, feeling the stretch in the upper back and neck. All right, let's do cow again. Grab the back of your chair, lift your heart, and feel that stretch. Doesn't that feel good? I like it anyway. All right, bring your hands back down to the thighs. Okay, continuing on, we're going to take our right hand and we're going to extend it up towards the ceiling. I mean, see how high you can reach that hand up. One thing I do want you to think about, though, is keeping this tailbone down, okay? So we don't want to be lifting and then that hip coming up. We want to keep that tailbone down. So lift it up, stretching it up, and bring that hand down. Let's do the other side. We're going to extend up first. Up, up, up we go. Lifting, 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 lifting. One more breath and come down. Okay, we're going to add on. And that's another thing. As I do a pose, and I might say, let's add on. And if you don't really feel like adding on, it's okay. You can keep doing what we were doing. But here's our add-on. We're going to extend that hand up to the ceiling, and the other hand is going to go down towards the floor. So I really want you to feel the stretch, right? So we're stretching through, feeling the arms stretching, the back stretching, the hips, the core is engaged. One more breath. Come back center. We're going to do the other side. Up we go. Lifting it up. Try to touch the ceiling with this hand. Try to touch the floor with the other hand. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Come back center. We're going to add on even more. Up we go to the ceiling. Stretch it up. Grab your chair with that left hand. And I want you to lift and then lean. Okay, so now what's really important in this leaning pose, this is a leaning mountain, we want to keep this sits bone down. This hip bone down. I know I keep saying that, but it's so important. Because I want you to feel a stretch all the way from this hip tip through to your armpit and then armpit out that finger. So I really want you to feel two pretty significant stretches here. All right, let's come up and we're going to do the other side. So up we go. This is super important. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen first, then bend into it. Opposite hip is down. Feel the stretch. Really breathe into that stretch. Just a natural breath. Don't worry. Don't hold your breath. Don't worry about the yoga breath. Just that natural breath. All right, one more breath and come up. Let's roll those shoulders again. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. Up, back and down. And reverse it. Oh, I should be really feeling good. Okay, let's take our left hand and we're going to bring it on the outside of that right knee. We're going to take our right hand and we're going to place it back behind us on the chair. Lift the crown of your head up, turn and look over your right shoulder. I know you won't be looking at me at the camera. It's okay. Go ahead and turn and look over that right shoulder. Now what you can do is you can use this hand that's on the outside of your leg to give you a little bit of leverage, right? So if you want to increase that stretch just a little bit, use that hand to help you. All right, release it, look forward again, and we're going to do the other side, okay? This hand is going on the outside of that knee, hand back by the chair, lift the crown of the head up, turn and look over the opposite shoulder. Making sure that you're not holding your breath, you're breathing into the stretch, you're feeling the center, those side waist muscles are beginning to wake up. And come back center. Let's roll those shoulders one final time, but we're going to do it one shoulder at a time. And we're going to reverse it. All right. Very, very good. Okay, moving on. We're going to take our right knee and we're going to open it nice and wide. Okay, so you should be feeling a good inner thigh stretch here. Now, one thing to remember as we begin to move from this position, this knee right here is going to want to fold in. And I want you to try really hard to keep it open because you're going to maximize your stretch on that inner thigh if you keep that thigh open. Let's take that left arm again. We're going to come all the way across our body, okay? Grab your chair. Lift the crown of the head to the ceiling, and then we're going to turn and we're going to look over the back of our chair. So yet again, I know you're not facing me. It's okay. You're looking over the back of your chair. Remember, you're keeping that knee open. So if you want to peek down at it and see if you've let that knee fold in, go ahead and try to open it back up. We're really stretching through the center of the waist. Those side waist muscles are really getting an opening now. Let's release it and we're going to do it one more time, okay? Come across the body, grab the chair, crown of the head lifts to the ceiling, turn and look over the back of your chair and breathe. One more breath. All right, release it. Now we're going to take this knee and we're going to let it fall down towards the floor. So there's a couple of positions that you can have your leg here. This is a crescent lunge. So the first position is you can have your knee straight down to the floor. It's just that 90-degree angle. And maybe you're feeling a pretty good stretch in that quadricep already, that thigh muscle. And if you are, then maybe this is right here is where you want to be. If you can be up on those toes, that's ideal. Okay, second position. This is an add-on. Remember, you don't have to add on, but if you want to, we're going to push that foot back behind us. All right? So now you see how much further back my leg is, and man, am I feeling that stretch now, right? You should be feeling it too. So there's a couple of things to think about in your crescent lunge. The first thing I want you to think about is lifting your heart up. So if you feel like you're leaning forward, you're not going to feel the stretch nearly as much as if you lift your heart up. So again, kind of that crown of the head to the ceiling. That's the feeling I want you to have. Heart is lifted. Now a little bit about hand placement. So you can be holding onto that chair for stability. Absolutely fine. You can bring your hands to your thigh. You can have your hands at heart. You can have your hands, I call this goalpost arms. You can even have your hands up towards the ceiling, right? All of these are great options. Personally, I'm going to stay at goalpost arms. There's something about putting my hands in the air that bugs my back, so I'm going to, in this particular pose, so I'm going to stay with goalpost arms, but you choose your hand position. All right, let's everybody take a little break, relax that leg. Whew, right? And we're going to do that again. Press it back. Up those hands go, or whatever position you want your hands to be in. Remember, you've got options here. We should really be feeling a stretch. This is a crescent lunge or a runner's lunge. It's got a few different names. All right, we're going to release that, and we're going to face forward again. Okay, the same leg we were just working. I want you to stick it out in front of you, toes to the ceiling. Now, for this particular pose, this is called pyramid pose. You may have to scoot towards the edge of your chair because I want you to try to get this leg straight, or as straight as you can. Never lock the knee. Now, I'm not talking about that, but I do want you to have the leg straight so that we can feel that hamstring stretching. So again, we're going to extend the spine long. I'm going to place my hands on my thighs for support, and then I'm going to let my heart fall forward. Keep the back flat, okay? So remember in cat, we were rounding our shoulders. I don't want that. Keep the back nice and flat. Let that heart fall forward, and you're going to maximize the stretch that you have in that hamstring. So we're just going to hold it here for a few breaths. Remember, don't hold your breath, just a natural breath. Let's lift the heart up, and we're going to do that one more time. Let that heart fall forward, keeping the back flat. Feeling a pretty good stretch into those hamstring muscles. Oh, yeah. One more breath. All right, come up nice and tall. Now we're going to move into what we call seated pigeon. So there's a couple of ways you can do pigeon. So the first way is I'm just going to take my left ankle and I'm going to cross it over my right. But I want you to pay attention. What I didn't do is I didn't move this foot in to cross. I want you to keep this leg out so that when you bring this leg across, we're going to lift and hinge. You're going to feel a stretch into this hip and glute area right here. All right, let's come up. Now, let's say that you're like, okay, well, I really didn't feel that very much. So the next version of this pigeon, seated pigeon pose is you can bring your ankle up onto the knee. Okay, so that's another great option. Same thing though, I want you to extend the spine long and then let your heart fall forward. And see how you feel about that stretch, right? Just breathing into it. Feel the stretch. Let's lift our heart up. Now, wherever if you're ankle to ankle, that's fine, or ankle to knee, either is fine. We're going to do what I call rock the baby. So I'm just going to pick up my leg and I'm just going to rock it a little bit. So all we're doing here is we're trying to get that joint to move a little bit before we stretch it again. The other thing you can do if that doesn't work for you, I call this fluttering the butterfly. So either is fine. Okay, let's do that again. And remember, extend the spine long. Come forward, keep the back flat. Let that heart fall forward. Breathing into the stretch. One more breath. Lift it up. Let's rock our baby again. All right, last time. We're going to extend that spine long, and we're going to let that heart fall forward as we breathe and feel that stretch. So maybe this time you can have a little more mobility or a little more range of motion. Your choice. Breathing, breathing, breathing. All right, let's do the other side. We have another side. So we're going to take this knee and we're going to open it up nice and wide. Okay? All right, so remember, we want to keep this leg, don't let this knee fold in. Take your right hand, bring it across, grab the chair, lift the crown of the head to the ceiling, turn and look over the back of your chair and breathe. Everybody, just take a quick peek at that knee. See what's happening down there. If it's folding in, I want you to open it up, okay? One more breath. We're going to release that, and let's do that again. Come across the chair. Come across your body. Grab the chair. Crown of the head lifts. Turn and look over the back of your chair. Breathing into that stretch, feeling the inner thigh stretching. The center of the body is opening up. One more breath and release it. Okay, we're going to let this knee fall down towards the floor. So remember, you've got a couple of positions, right? So this one is the first position, which is absolutely fine. That knee is falling straight down towards the floor. On those back toes, if that works for you, crescent lunge. I'm holding onto my chair. All right, another version of this crescent lunge is if you want to push your foot back behind you, you're going to lift your heart. So remember, whether your knee is bent or your knee is straighter, you want to keep that heart lifted. So one of the cues that I use sometimes is thinking about pressing the back of your kneecap towards the ceiling. So that also is going to increase that stretch into that quadricep and hip flexor. And I'm just giving you ideas. So if you're right here and you're feeling it, that's A-okay. It's just if you want a little bit more. That's all I'm doing. A little bit of add-on. Okay, so let's add the arm placement, okay? So you've got choices. Keep on hanging on to that chair. It's absolutely fine. If you want to bring your hands to your thighs, that's another really good option. If you want to have your hands at heart, that's a good option. Have your hands at goalpost arms or hands to the ceiling. You've got lots of options of hand placement. They're all great options. Let's release it, and we're going to do that one more time. All right, so make sure your leg is extended or down at 90 degrees, however you want it. Lift your heart, so when I want you leaning forward, lift that heart up. Hands on the thighs, heart, goalpost arms, ceiling. All is well. Breathing into it. One more breath and release it and face forward. How you feeling? That's a pretty good stretch, isn't it? I know. I feel it too this morning. Okay, so this leg we're going to stick out in front of us. That toes are up to the ceiling again, right? So back to that pyramid pose. So once again, extend the spine long. Hands can be right here on the thighs for support. Let the heart fall forward. Keep the back flat and breathe. So pretty good stretch into that hamstring. The back of that right leg is what you should be feeling. Trying to keep the leg as straight as you can without locking out the knee. Let's lift that heart up, and we're going to do that one more time. Extend and let that heart fall forward. Breathing into it. One more breath. All right, sit up nice and tall. And we're going to move into seated pigeon on the other side. So remember, this leg, if you're going to cross at the ankle, try not to bring this leg in. We want to keep the leg out so that when you cross the ankle, you're getting some stretch here into that hip and glute. Extend the spine long, let the heart fall forward. Okay, so this is a version. Another version, if it works for you, is to cross ankle to knee. All right? So in this version, we're going to extend the spine long again, and we're going to let that heart fall forward. Placing your hands on the thighs is going to give you a little extra support, which is fine, but you should be feeling that stretch right there. in that hip and glute. I feel this side more than the other, and that's very common. You might feel this side more or less than the other side, and that's a very, very common thing to have happen. Okay, we're going to lift our heart up. Remember, you got choices. You can flutter that butterfly or you can rock your baby. Your choice. All right, we're going to do that again. We're going to extend the spine long and let that heart fall forward, keeping the back flat, breathing through the stretch. We do not want to hold the breath. One more breath. Let's come up and rock that baby one more time. You guys are doing great. We're almost there. All right, final time. Extend the spine long. Let that heart fall forward, keeping the back flat, breathing into the stretch. One more breath. Lift your heart up. Okay, place both feet on the floor, and then what I want you to do is just heel-toe your feet nice and wide and let your knees fall in. So this is just a nice stretch into those hips. We stretched our hips out a bit, and now we just want to give them that little counter stretch. So should feel really good. Breathing into it. One more breath. All right, heel-toe your feet back together. Let's sit up nice and tall. We're going to move into our relaxation time. So just simply close your eyes. Just feel the natural rhythm of your breath as you inhale and exhale. Activate self-discipline. 6 months from now, what actions will you be thankful you took today? 2 years from now, what temptations will you be thankful you resisted today? In the current moment, self-discipline can feel like a bother, an imposition that cramps your style. Yet over time, it feels like satisfaction, achievement, strength, confidence. Your choices today have a major impact on the quality of your future. Now is your opportunity to make the choices that lead to a desirable future. This moment will be over soon, but its consequences can continue for your whole life. Make the choices now that lead to consequences you'll be glad to live with. When you're in the moment, it's tempting to live only for the moment. Yet you have the power, you have the choice to do much better than that. Exercise that power, activate your self-discipline, and do your future self a big favor. Act now to create the best consequences for your whole life, for today, for tomorrow, and for years to come. Bring your hands to your heart, honoring one another. We say Namaste.